community interest has gotten itself and it as the center of the bipartisan talks as leaders now opt for other alternatives after taking their hardline stance on what exactly needed to be discussed in that table. It's some conspiracy gamble to push President Ruto to the wall. Cornered juvenile Mount Kenya politicians, the UDA camp, are slowly reconciling with the truth that a second attempt by Azimio la Umoja to amend the constitution will backfire on them if they oppose. Welcome to the bold analysis, and thank you very much for your support. I can say without fear of contradiction that this country is ripe for a third attempt to amend our constitution, even though any shortcut around it, deemed as one to bear fruits, is conspiracy against that 2010 document. There was a letter and there is a trend that is going on. In December, President Ruto wrote letters to Speaker of the Senate and that of the National Assembly asking for review so that offices of the opposition is created. And Azimio declined and saying that we needed to go and seek mandate from the people. In this letter you're seeing here is a letter that has been written now by Githunguri Member of Parliament Gathoni Wamuchomba. And she has written this letter to the Speaker of the National Assembly asking for review, or rather initiating a process of making some constitutional amendments that will address one man, one shilling, one vote in Mount Kenya. Remember, this is coming at a very critical time. Gathoni Wamuchomba, it is a trend. Ruto initiated that one in the parliament, wrote a letter. Now we've also seen this letter coming from Gathoni Wamuchomba. Let me tell you, over the weekend, there was an homecoming party in Juja for Juja Member of Parliament. And in that event, the leaders discussed, and if you imagine, in fact, I understand after that event, they discussed that they were going to hatch plans to try to bring this matter to table. Now, this MP is not a lightweight. And if you remember the Rigathi Sakaja spat, she was the author of that spat. She was at the center of it. So clearly, this is something that is coming from the topmost leadership of the Mount Kenya, especially the UDA camp. So what this will play out, I want us to listen to. It will test the loyalty of Mount Kenya, and as time goes, there have been a bit of challenges of what people really has been, people have always wanted to see what is coming out of it. Kindly subscribe to our channel, and at this juncture, also allow me to remind you about our fundraiser for the lady who is stuck in Kenyatta Hospital, and Mercy delivered well but had complications of tear and over bleeding. There was medical services that were needed, and so it gobbled more funds to ballooning the bill to 8,000. So we are supporting them with the 50 shillings challenge for her to be released from hospital, and also help the husband kickstart so that the husband can resume, at least get a motorbike to resume work, since he lost the one he was using. The move to initiate this process is seen as testing Ruto loyalty to Mount Kenya's support. And of course, it's something that is attracting attention of many. But then I want you to look at this. Alice Ng'ang'a started this discussion and was talking about how the issue of funding, and though this is something that has been going on, even though I realize it's more around the Thika team, I don't know, I don't see the Nyeri, the Kirinyaga and Meru team talking, but the around Thika, Kiambu are really speaking about it. And remember, taking her position, I wanted to get her soundbite on this matter.
Na ninataka kusema hii maneno ya basari, nasema tuwe tunapatiwa pesa ya CDF kule bunge kulingana na ni watoto wangapi kila constituency iko nao. Ukiangalia mashule zetu zimejaa kabisa, lakini ile pesa ya CDF tunapatiwa ile pesa ambayo inapatiwa constituency zile zingine ambao population yao iko chini sana. Sasa sio kuongea naongea, ni mlinituma bunge kwenda kutetea watu wetu. Nimeteta na nimesema ya kwamba tuambiwa minimum constituency should have the minimum. Ndio sasa pia sisi tufanye hesabu tujue sisi kama wanapika. Kwa sababu hatuitishi tuwe na constituency mbili, hapana. Representation mimi naweza kafanya nikiwa mbunge mmoja, lakini pesa iongezewe in terms ya bursary na development. Kwa sababu kwa wakati huu tumefinyiliwa tena zaidi. Sisi registered voters were...
Now, the dilemma here is very interesting. Mount Kenya team knows very well that for some of these changes they want to be effected, we will have to go back to amend the constitution. The process that Uhuru Kenyatta initiated, they are all aware of this factor. But while they want this to be addressed, they are trying to cut corners with it. Because President William Ruto would not entertain a referendum amidst his first term. In fact, not the referendum. A vote mobilization against Raila Odinga in his first term can actually alter and affect the 2027 script. So this is going on, but Raila seems to be pushing it. So these leaders are torn in between. How do we address it? The constitution addresses this. You know, let me tell you, I know Uhuru Kenyatta's approach, many looked at it selfish, but look at his reasoning. Uhuru was saying that let's amend the constitution and create additional constituencies. I think in these additional constituencies, Mount Kenya is going to benefit more. So when we have more constituencies, that means there will be funding. So if funding is standard rate, if each county is receiving like 20 million, let's say for example, then we have each constituency. Then you have, the more you have many constituencies, the more you're going to benefit from. So now, even if we are supposed to take the route and say we are going to divide it on ratio, is it not going to create hostilities between those who think they're getting more and those who are getting less? And how are we going to divide it? Because it has to be, there are other aspects that are considered before it's given. And that's why I think you can see the divide on Ndindi Nyoro. He was speaking saying, no, we can't, the bipartisan team cannot go beyond IBC.
Wanasema ati watasaidiana na wabunge. I want to tell them the process that is available now is not the process of outside of the institutions created by our constitution. The only dialogue, the only personnel, the only commissioners or whatever name you accord them are members that have already been elected by the people of Kenya to represent them. We are not going to allow any other people by any title or name that wanakuja kwa hiyo maneno ya kuongea.
This move is just coming a day to bipartisan talks. The talks are supposed to start on Tuesday. And now there seems to be some level of chaos. This has come this side, the bipartisan team is supposed to talk, and there seems to be what people are seeing. Let me say it. Let's just get it right. Huh? To the members of parliament in Mount Kenya, and this, especially this team, their approach is selfish, and I don't think it's going to solve the problem, because bursary allocation is not given to all students. I just called former chair of CDF in one of constituencies here in Nairobi, that is in Dagoretti. He worked under KJ, and was telling me, one board member was telling me that there are different factors. There are even areas where I've been told bring whether you voted here. So you give it to bright candidates. Bright candidates, yes, the schools are many, but it can't be, we can't give that we have 700,000 students, so we want to give more to, because it doesn't go to all the 700,000. So this matter needs to be approached very well with a bit of a sober mind. And it's nothing more than this. What Mount Kenya is simply saying is this: we voted for you, President Ruto. This is the time to see, do you really have the interest of the mountain? And I can tell you, this trigger has come from Rigathi Gachagua. Now, the reason why these leaders are cornered, they can't escape. The 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote cannot be achieved by exclusively the CDF being addressed, because the CDF is a kitty under the MP. But how about the counties? If it is 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote, it must be anchored on law and it touches the counties. So fine, we can fix the one for parliament. How about the one for the county governments? So that is why they are cornered. This move will yield, must necessitate a constitutional review in form of what was proposed in BBI. And so the goose is cooked. 4 reasons why this move has been pulled. Just sort of some panic. Rigathi Gachagua is realizing that Mwangi wa Iria, Kiunjuri, there is the other former Mugiki leader, Maina Njenga, the Kabogos, the Kabando wa Kabando. They are giving fodder for Raila Odinga's re-entry in Mount Kenya. And because they've joined, there is quite a significant number in Azimio, Raila Odinga will revive his dalliance to the Mount Kenya, or rather Azimio will revive their visibility in Mount Kenya through sneaking the 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote in that bipartisan talks. It's both in that bipartisan talks and the leaders that Mount Kenya that are there. So it's a situation of jumping ahead of the queue. So that if it comes out that Azimio are talking about it, then for them they will start creating, okay, because this calls for a constitutional review, but we've been pushing for it in parliament. So whether it succeeds in parliament or not, but someone will already take some political credit and say, we also had that in our interest. So Rigathi knows very well that that can really be a narrative that can kick him out of the mountain by those other leaders. And so Ruto has technically locked Mount Kenya. He technically locked Mount Kenya out of that bipartisan talks. And I understand that while there was a proposal on even Kirinyaga women rep, the young women rep, to be included in that committee. But it didn't. So in UDA wing, there was no single. In fact, Rigathi wanted the headliners to be mixed by some young, wanted the Ndindi Nyoro, the Rigathi Gachagua, the Ichung'wah to be in that team so that they could counter the Azimio team that was actually seen as a heavyweight. But William Ruto technically declined, and they made a decision, a unilateral decision, that they were going to send the other team of at least those who were seen as not much of those hardliners. But they're not happy. They are not happy because, number one, those who are in that bipartisan team, there is no single Mount Kenya person. But Azimio can run with it and take it. So what they want is they want to create a parallel constitutional change process against that which could be proposed in Azimio. And in fact, people are seeing that from that bipartisan talks, for it to cease fire, for us to have some ceasefire, then we will have to go the process of changing the constitution. We must review the constitution. If we review the constitution, we're going to have some sort of ceasefire. I'm seeing the DP trying to consolidate Mount Kenya around an ideology. He knows very well that this school needs a constitutional change, but is dangling it to see how many gonna come. You know the discussion about the milkman, that one collapsed. It was supposed to end in April. We are finishing April, not seeing anything. Now he started illicit brew and saying give us the list of brewers, then we'll deal with them. He sent to the Inspector General. That is very so it's about talking about the common things in the society that are really hurting people, so that you can enjoy yourself to them without really definite solutions. And lastly, I think this is an opportunity, and they're trying to put Ruto in some sort of a trap. What is in it for Mount Kenya? And if this fails, then we are going to have significant impact of this engagement in the boundaries review that is coming. And probably Ruto might meet them and tell them that let's address these issues in the boundaries review that is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my bold. Let's meet in the next, and I'm leaving you with a video of the young man we are fundraising for, the young man whose wife we are fundraising for. Santeni. Stephen, you told me that your wife has a challenge. It's not someone is somewhere detained in the hospital. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you take us through what exactly happened, or where did it start?
Okay, this started after my wife gave birth at Pumwani Hospital.
Date?
On date 20th February. So after she gave birth, mtoto alikuwa nursery after 5 days. So after 5 days from nursery, we went back home. We were just home, things were well. After some few weeks, then wife got complications. Alianza kubleed, mysteriously bleeding, and I was shocked. Ran out to call the doctor, and the doctor told me to bring the lady in the hospital.
Wapi? Unaishi wapi?
Okay, naishi Dandora.
Okay.
Phase 5.
Okay.
So daktari alijaribu, akashindwa. The lady was seriously bleeding. Akaniambia nitafute taxi to rush mgonjwa Kenyatta. Nikafanya hivyo, tukafika Kenyatta. Wakati nilifika Kenyatta, mama alikuwa admitted. Na from hapo, so
alikuwa admitted sasa Kenyatta.
Alikuwa admitted Kenyatta hospital.
Na wakati alikuwa admitted the child now what happened, but the child
okay,
the child is fine
by the time,
but then this is the child,
yeah,
and
this is my baby.
This is your baby, and
yeah.
Ni boy and
baby boy to Jason.
Oh good, even my son was born in February. So now where are you from first?
Okay, right now I'm from the Kenyatta Hospital. Nilipeleka mtoto kunyonya, and that is how I always do it. Nampeleka ananyonya, namrudisha kwa nyumba.
Unampeleka kila siku?
Daily.
In the morning ama unakana the whole day?
No. I nampeleka in the evening. In the evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then sasa sasa ukitoka unaenda tu mnalala.
Sasa nikitoka naenda kwa nyumba. So nikiwa pale kwa nyumba, mtoto ana survive na maziwa ya kuchemsha. Nachemsha, naongeza maji kidogo. And that's it.
Wow. You've really impressed me. How about the child? Yeah, alikuwa sawa hata wakitoka Pumwani?
Okay, mtoto wakati tulikuwa tunatoka Pumwani, mtoto since alikunywa ile amniotic fluid, ile uchafu, so mtoto amekuwa na shida hiyo ya kungorota, anangorota. Ni kama anafungana hewa.
Okay.
So doctors gave me some medicine ile ya kudrop kwa mapua wakati anatoa hiyo sauti. So hiyo ndo nimekuwa nikitumia, but still at times nasikia anatoa hiyo sauti kama
hata sasa nasikia na
hata sasa. Yeah.
What did the doctors in Kenyatta say was the problem?
Doctors in Kenyatta waliniambia mama wakati alizaa kuna vile mtoto alimrarua, they got a tear. So walimshona, alienda theater wakamshona.
Na alizaa normal?
Alizaa normal.
Na tear. Okay. So, anafaa show me or something. Okay.
Yeah.
We may not understand because we don't have a lady here.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was what was bringing the complication about the bleeding.
Yeah.
Guys, I was told this, and I really got touched by his story, Stephen's story. You know, when he was telling me you were in Kenyatta, and I was like, okay, what's going on? So it's been there for how many days?
Since date second.
Date second.
Yeah.
The bill is
80,000.
80,000.
Yeah.
Wow. But then now that you take care every evening, when do you go to work now? Do you even go to work now that?
No. Okay. About my work, I'm a bodaboda rider. Na pikipiki naendesha ni ya mtu na ni ya loan. So wakati nilikuwa na hii shida, pikipiki ilibidi tu iendelee kufanya kazi sababu inalipwa daily. So mwenyewe alichukua na alitafuta mwingine aendelee.
Oh, so what you normally your work is kuendesha boda?
Yes.
So because of this, that is you can. But then how do you survive? Okay, you should not ask that. So should get. What is the terms of the loan? How much do you pay to get a pikipiki and loan so that you pay boda maybe?
Okay, for now, loan walipandisha nini deposit. Kwa saa hii deposit ni 25,000.
Okay. Then so if you get 25,000,
yes,
you go and pay, and you're given a motorbike on loan.
Yeah.
Then you pay is the rest in installments.
Yeah.
Which you can manage.
I can manage to get 500 per day.
You unapata endesha around Dandora.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, I brought Stephen here because I wanted us to get feel of this story, and this is one we can do this. We've always done this. This is 80,000. Today's date 14. If you give yourself 1 week, Friday. Yeah, so let's try. Let's do a 50 shillings challenge. I've decided not to. I'm going to share the number, nobody's number, because of a bit of that disturbance. But I am also asking those who can be willing to reach out to me. My number is there. I'll directly connect you with him so that whichever God has blessed you with, at least I talk. So Mama amekaa hospitali for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you guys are young couples, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, and may God bless you for being a father to this child. I know it's really touching. It's really touching the heart, and I believe that as Bold family, this will come to an end. I know we will find a way. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Sawa. Asante. Aya.